All right. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of my background first. Pat, you did a great job. Jay, your dad, that was awesome to hear. My bringing up is kind of similar. My dad really stuck behind me and my brothers. I got two brothers. Arnie's our third brother. He's an absolute hammer around the state of Florida here. We all were born in Brandon, Tampa area, and we resided in Lakeland, and we've been there ever since. My brother Chris has actually moved up to Gunnersville, and my sister there, so my parents said if one side of the family goes one more way or the other, then they're going to Alabama or they're going to stay in Florida. They haven't quite decided yet. But my dad was awesome, man. He tied me and my three brothers to a rope in the back of his boat. So if one of us fell out, all he'd have to do is pull us in with the rope. I mean, that's how I grew up fishing, and I was young. It was really, really entertaining to catch fish, and it was always competition. The deal was dollar, 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 first, most, and biggest. It's changed a little bit. It's 555 now, and I got him just last week on his lake there in Lakeland, so I'm stepping up a little bit. But he's the reason me and my brother are here today. A little trivia question. Who knows when Chris Lane won the Bassmaster Classic? There we go. Good answer, 2012. 10 years ago, my brother won the Bassmaster Classic. I got to celebrate that win with him on stage. I don't know if any of you guys were there, but it was life-changing for him. It was the career that everybody's after. Jay, yourself, I wish you luck this year. You're in the Classic, right? Okay, good thing. Golly, that would have been a bad deal, but I wish you the best. I watched my brother 10 years ago win the Bassmaster Classic, and I gave him the biggest hug on stage I could ever. Almost knocked him off stage. And I was fortunate to win the Red Crest last year in Grand Lake, and he was there to celebrate that. And it was really, really cool. He almost knocked me off stage. And for me and him to be world champions, it's kind of put a chip on my dad's hat. And he's down in Kissimmee right now with Chris and my brother's son. And they're down there angling right now, and he's speck fishing, and I think the boys are bass fishing. So this is the way we grew up, man. It's been all about family, and it's special to have that. It really is. And I want to relive the Red Crest with you guys. Did anybody watch the Red Crest last year as it was going down? 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go. I'm having before that, about an hour before that, I'm having one of the worst days you could possibly have, right? You're sitting in ninth place, and every 15 minutes, the official's job is to what? Give you a score tracker update. Bobby, you're in ninth place. You're only 16 pounds behind. I haven't even caught 16 pounds in the day, right? So I've got some work to do. And we got an hour and a half to go, and I decided to make a little move. I wanted to go back to my roots and fish shallow. Picked up a jig and started beating the docks, beating wood, bushes, and catch a 4-pounder, catch a 6-pounder, catch a 3-pounder and a 2-pounder. All of a sudden, I find myself in the top 5. Moments like this you dream about, right? I've lived through, I think, 13 Bassmaster Classics. I've been in 4 Red Crests. I've never got the opportunity to I was second in the Bassmaster Classic a couple of years in a row, but I feel like now I'm ready. For some reason, God put me in this position to be there that time. 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go, I catch a fish that I swear is 2 pounds. I know it's 2 pounds when I bring it in. I weigh it the first time. What's it weigh? 1 pound, 15 ounces. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I reweigh the fish again. The scale screws up. As I'm holding the fish, think about it. It's dripping water. It's losing its weight. I'm frustrated. There's no way this fish is going to weigh 2 pounds. I weigh it the second time. The fish weighs 1 pound, 15 ounces. We're talking $300,000 on the line, a world champion. I'm a 2017 world champion, but that was a kind of a made-for-television show. The payback was a tenth of what the Red Crest pays. The trophy's beautiful, but we're all about the money. The hardware stays, but the money spends, right? Third and final reweigh, I put the fish on the scale. It went to 2-1 and locked in at 2 pounds even. The camera was dead on the scale. I got 2 minutes and 38 seconds left in my day, and all this is going through my head. I'm fishing against Jacob Wheeler, Dustin Connell, who's the reigning champ. Jacob Wheeler, I swear you can never beat the guy no matter where you go. And all this is going down. And the difference between Major League and Bass, I think we all know, is Bass has a weigh-in, right? You know when the guys' fish hit the scale what they weigh. When Major League, they say, Bobby, you won. Well, you sure I won? Did a guy catch a fish in the last 15 seconds or 20 seconds? Like, this has happened before. Oh, you're in the knockout round. Somebody caught one in the last 3 minutes. You're knocked out. It didn't happen that day. God willing, and he was on my side that day. When I'm saying there's a chance, there's a chance. For some reason, he wanted that fish to weigh 2 pounds, and it was my time to win one. So that was to relive that red crest, the limo ride back, to enjoy that with my wife and family. The last time they were at a major event was at the Bassmaster Classic. And that's kind of where we're going now, guys. We're making a little switch this year. It's been a long road. It's been a good road. I've fished the Bass for 11 years, and I fished Major League for 11 years straight. I've given them each the one, and there was one big trophy that I didn't get. After I won the Red Crest, I enjoyed all the moments of that. Trust me, Major League it was the first time they had a great big expo. We had the dinner, we had the celebration, the confetti, the whole 9 yards. It was awesome, but there was a trophy that I didn't get, and I watched my brother get. There's only one way to get back. I got to go through the Bass Opens. The gauntlet, right? Like, I got to go back to AAA when I have been a pro status for almost 20 years. I mean, I've won elites, I've won cup events, I'm a world champion, I've won the Red Crest, I've won opens. I mean, it's like, why are you doing this? And the reason I can do it is because of sponsors. I mean, think about it. Without sponsors, how can I just drop everything I'm doing, tell my family I'm going to go back and fish $1,800 entry fee tournaments, and if I win one, I get $40,000. When my whole career, I've been fishing $100,000 tournaments, and half the time my entries are covered, right? This is a big career move. But without sponsors, none of this would be possible. Think about it. Without any sponsors, there's no way I could do this. You can't make a $1,800 check in an open when your entry fee is $1,800 and take that to your wife and say we broke even. I got 3 kids. They're all teenagers. My youngest one's 13 years now. They're on a cruise over in the Bahamas right now, and I hope I can send them back there again one day, but I need to get to the Elite Series quickly to do that. I ran into a sponsor in the bathroom. We actually had a conversation. How odd is that, right? That's how sponsors need to be with all you guys, really. I mean, to be able to have the loyalty with your sponsors. I ran into a guy from Yamaha, and we actually had a conversation. If I didn't have a good personal relationship, loyalty over the years with him, we couldn't even have been able to talk just even in a bathroom. That's pretty cool to walk in there and do that. It's the sponsors are really, really important. I do a few things before I get into the sponsor part of it. I run a kids event. It's called the Bobby Lane Cup. We do one every year. It's the first week in December, and it's out at Camp Mac. We hosted 382 kids this year and gave away $41,000 in scholarships. We had 13 scholars this year, and we were able to give them $3,000 apiece. That's for juniors and seniors. So if you're a junior, or you can get it while you're a junior, and when you're a senior, you can double dip and almost get $6,000 put in your account. I truly believe, we run everything through the Polk Education Foundation, but I truly believe we have put kids through college just because of the money sitting there, and we have never, it says it takes 3 years for the Polk Education Foundation, if a kid doesn't accept it, to send it back. In 11 years of the Bobby Lane Cup, we've never received one scholarship back. So the kids that didn't want to go to college, I got a feeling the parents made them go, and what's really neat is I think some of these kids that come back from college, they come back and they actually are a boat captain to other kids in the event. So it's a wonderful, complete circle. Yamaha was the very first sponsor. We had hats and wristbands, and I had 18 kids there, and that's all they got. And we've taken it to where it is today, and it's really, really neat to be a part of that. I've started a local club in Lakeland Christian School. I started a team there. Kids that don't even know how to fish. Parents are like, where do we buy tackle? Where do we buy a pole? It's really neat to get involved with the youth guys. It's really important. And guess what? That's what your sponsors love too, right? Because we all know the youth is up and coming. I mean, I'm a veteran at this. I never thought I would say that one day, but I'm actually a veteran. And guys like Jay himself are coming up through the ranks and just kicking butt and taking names, right? I mean, the kid wins how many? 100 and what pounds? 102 even? There we go. 100. You knew he knew it. Good Lord. Man, Jay. 102 pounds and 9 ounces on smallmouth. I remember winning my Elite Series in 2009. I was desperately trying to break the 100-pound mark, and it was on Kentucky Lake. I think this was one of the last times Kentucky Lake was good, and it was had 97 pounds and 8 ounces. Don't quote me on that because I don't think it's right, but it's close. I was close to 100. But there was more boats that followed me that day than there ever has been in a tournament in the history of bass fishing. There was 136 boats and a helicopter waiting at my spot when I got there, and the fishing was horrible when I got there. They cut the water off, and you can imagine the nerves that went through. And Kevin Van Dam is the best cranker in that body of water, and beating him was one of the biggest highlights of my career. So I can take these to these schools and talk to these kids and get them involved in clubs like that. And sponsors love it, guys. They do. They're the youth. They're the future of this sport. They're the reason why we can stand up here and talk to you guys, and guys like Jay can fish for a living and acquire sponsorship because he knows where his roots come from. And I make sure that, most anglers do understand that. This is a very small industry, and you got to make sure that you cross your I's and dot your T's, right? Dot your I's, cross your T's. But so let's talk a little bit about your personal relationship with sponsors, man. It means a lot. When you get with a sponsor, it's everything, right? And even if it's not your sponsor, you need to be kind in this organization. At ICAST, I know a lot of you guys, I think everyone in here attends ICAST. When you're mingling through the booths and when you're talking to guys, have your ducks in a row. Like somebody said earlier, don't say, hey, let's go behind doors and seal a deal. Let's get the card, let's have a talk, let's see if we can make this relationship work. But the first thing is make the relationship. That's the most important thing in this business, is build the relationship with who you want to talk to. And line yourself with a sponsor that you believe in. I believe in Durabraid. I use Durabraid. It's on almost every one of my reels. It's not other brands that are out there. Trust in what you believe on your shirt, I run Yamaha because it's the most reliable motor on the market. I've run it since day one, and it has never let me down, knock on wood, and I continue to run Yamaha as long as they'll have me. But I've built these relationships in the beginning of my career and have only progressed them, and I don't go, hey, I need a $10,000 raise every year. That's not the way this industry works. As you grow with them, as the company grows, they will grow with you. So stick with what you know and stick with what's in your realm. Work with them. Guys, we're going through a downtime right now, right? We're lucky to have sponsorship. So right now is a wonderful time for me to be able to make a switch to go from a pro career back to the gauntlet. Really is a tough call, right? I mean, granted, I got the Red Crest, some of the Red Crest money. The IRS got the rest of it, but I do have some of it left. But it'll carry me along. But that's what I'm hoping to use for my retirement someday. I want to be able to pursue and make decisions, and I can because of the relationships that I built with my sponsors over the years. But let's make no mistake about it. Catching fish is the reason we're all here, old or young, right? Jay, you're not getting sponsors because you're Jay, right? You're getting sponsors because you won the Bassmaster Elite Series on the St. Lawrence River. The reason I have sponsors is because I've caught a lot of fish over the years. I've won some big tournaments, and I hope to continue to win some down the road. But catching fish is the reason we're all here, or the outdoors, right? We love being in the outdoors. I was looking at a lady's boat out there, her little canoe with a 20-horse Yamaha on it, and she said she can float in 3 inches. I'm like, man, what I had done to have that thing in the Keys this year when the bonefish were 200 yards out and the boat got stuck 100 yards, right? I could have motored right up to them, but it's a wonderful place to be when you're out there fishing and you catch that fish of a lifetime, right? You take the picture, you put it up on social media. That's what everybody loves. It's awesome to have that opportunity. I grew up catching fish. I didn't grow up getting sponsors when I was 13 years old. Just like Jay was cutting through the ice, right? Catching his perch and his walleye, and those guys were bass fishing when the ice thawed out. They love to bass fish, just like every one of you in here, or saltwater fish, or whatever, walleye fish. Trust me, I've done it all. I've been in Mille Lacs, Minnesota. I was in Mille Lacs this year. The event didn't go too well, but I love that lake. It's full of walleye, full of perch. I mean, I caught everything up there. But we're all in this because we love the outdoors and we love the part of fishing. I mean, that's the key, is the reason we're all here. So the biggest thing on my speech today was going to be don't burn any bridges. How important is that? It's probably the most important thing in the business, especially right now, and some of the things that are happening now with us all making a merge 4 years ago, and now, you know, we got all these other trails. There's all kinds of things going on. We got the NPFL. Never burn a bridge. I have honestly seen people go from one organization to the next. And what does that mean? What happens, right? So you're talking to a guy and you come in at a high number and he says, well, we can't do it, man, we'll do this. Well, I don't have time for that, right? Guess what? Next year you go to, let's call it Lawrence, and you say, hey, I'm interested. You win a tournament, right? You're going to Lawrence. Hey, I'm interested in a sponsorship. I'm the guy you cut off last year. I work for Lawrence now. Guess what? Now you done burned a bridge, right? I can honestly say I only burned half a bridge in my career, and I'm not going to tell you what bridge that was, but I learned a valuable lesson when I was young. I was green. I didn't have a clue what was going on, and my dad told me, Bobby, this is serious. You're going to go pro. Do not burn bridges. And I took that to heart, and that's super, super important, guys. This industry is so small. Picture it as a small pizza, right? And it's cut in 100 slices. Every one of us has a piece of that slice. We're all joined by the same team, really. If one struggles, we try to pick the other one up. If one of my sponsors is struggling, they say, Bobby, we're going to have to do this year. Hey, man, no problem. Guess what? When things get good, they remember that, right? You're not just leaving them saying, hey, I ain't got time for you. I had a sponsor call me yesterday saying, we fired the whole entire pro staff. I'm like, oh, wow, that's including me. I'm like, surely there's something. I said, I tell you what, let's try to meet here, and when things get better, maybe we can talk down the road. They said, I'll run it by them and see what they say. But at least I'm giving them an opportunity. I've been with them for 6 years. I don't want to lose this sponsor. They fired everybody though, right? So across the board, you don't have a leg to stand on. But you know, if you stay with them, and next year, the year after, things get better, now all of a sudden your $6,000 check might go to $10,000, right? So you're better off in the long run. Make those relationships, stay involved with them. It's super important. Phone calls, not just text messages or emails. Emails are really important, but a simple phone call. Hey man, how's it going? Not every time you call somebody, hey, I need this, right? Hey, my active target went out. Cheryl, can you get me a new one overnighted? I've had, four phone calls with Cheryl in the prior 3 months, right? So we know each other. She's going to answer my call. She knows maybe I don't need a new active target. But if I make these relationships over the years or over the months and make these personal phone calls every once in a while, or just a text, sometimes I'll just throw out happy Wednesday, how's it going? Or happy Friday, man, hope you have a great weekend. Stuff like that goes a long way in this business. So kindness kills. You need to remember that in this business for sure, guys. It means the world to the sponsors. They have Connor, I couldn't tell you how many. Mark, I see you back there. You guys probably have a stack this big of pro staff. What's going on in the juniors and the high school and the college, right? They all want a jersey and they all want to get a wrap truck and boat, and guess who they call? The guys that are in charge, right? They go through this every single day. They don't need us to be bothering them all the time. But a little cool, hey, how's it going? Something like that is what they love to hear, man. They love the personal relationship side of things. Here's a cool little story. I was fishing Sabine River one time. This does have something to do with sponsors. I zeroed the first day. I mean, I have killed it in the Elite Series. Killed it. This is like the 5th tournament. I'm on fire. I'm like second in the points. I think I'm leading the Opens that year. And I go to Sabine River and I come in the first day and I zero. Now, this is a dad who calls every morning and a mom before takeoff They are all about the Lane brothers and everything else. And my dad says, hey, I got an idea for a new sponsor. And this is exactly when Coke Zero was coming out. He says, why don't you go after Coke Zero? And I hung up the phone. I mean, what are you supposed to do, right? My dad is telling me to get a new sponsor, Coke Zero, and we joked about it. And the next day, I sucked really bad again the next day. I think I had one fish. And he says, well, best thing for you to do is put that boat on the trailer and get your ass home because you ain't fishing another day on Sabine. And it was that was really, really funny when he said that, because I'm like, Dad, really? You know, and he's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, no, number one, I don't drink Coke. Number two, but long story. That was a funny deal. But it's a great road though, guys. This industry is strong. We're all in this together. Trust me, we're awesome to be able to come here to have the NPAA. I've just become a member. Right, Pat? Yeah, five months ago, Pat actually donated 10 memberships to my kids' event to get members. Guys, this is the future, whether you realize it or not. I mean, you guys do, but we need to spread the word. We have to spread the word about the NPAA. This is so important. The more we get, guess what? The less money we spend. We're all about it, right? Gas prices are rocketing. We got all kinds of problems going on in the world today, and anything eggs, what are eggs now? $9 a dozen? I mean, come on, it's getting ridiculous. Anything we can do to save a buck or two is going to be huge. The NPAA is giving us this opportunity to save some money. Really, we have to get more members. We have to all come together and send your thoughts. Send what you think to Pat and let him know. I'm up here because I believe in the NPAA. I'm up here. I love looking at all you guys. I see you guys at ICAST and most of you guys at ICAST, and to be a part of this is awesome. I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe. It's just like my sponsors. I'm not wearing anybody on my jersey that I don't believe in. It's super important. So the NPAA is strong right now. I know they got several hundred, almost 2,000 members. We need to double that. We need to try to double that number next year. They're the reason we can be a part of this. The more we all stick together, unification is huge. This industry is small, and the more we all try to, we can't do it with the anglers. Trust me, we've tried to unify anglers. I did it when I was on the board at the Bassmaster Elite Series. I've been on the board with Major League for a long time. We tried to unify. That ain't happening. There's 80 guys with 80 different opinions. But we all together can make the NPAA something special one day. I'm telling you that there's not many other organizations out there that are giving us an opportunity to save money on health insurance, to be able to afford any kind of insurance. They're giving us those opportunities, and we need to take advantage of them as quickly as possible. So thank you guys for your time. I know we got some questions coming up. But y'all are awesome, and I am honored and humbled to be standing here as your 2022 Red Crest champion, and I hope every one of you are there the day I get to fish my next Bassmaster Classic, and I'm dreaming one day to hold that one up too. Thank you, guys.